She told me over breakfast, like it was nothing. I just don't think this is working anymore, she said, cracking an egg into the pan without looking at me. It's the medical stuff. I can't. I don't want to spend the rest of my life worrying if we'll ever have kids. I didn't answer right away. I couldn't. I just watched the yolk break against the hot metal. We'd been trying for over a year. Doctor visits, blood work, scans. She cried when it didn't work. I held her, paid for specialists. I was the one who started researching adoption when the IVF bills piled up. Now suddenly, it was the medical stuff that made her fall out of love? You mean my medical stuff? I said finally. She nodded. I'm sorry, Mark. I need more certainty. I'm 33. I don't want to wait forever. She wasn't crying. She didn't even pause. She poured the eggs onto her plate, salted them, and sat down. It felt less like a breakup and more like an exit interview. I didn't argue. What was there to say? I stood, left my coffee half full, and walked to the bedroom. Packed a bag. She didn't stop me. That should have been the first clue. I stayed in a hotel that night. Slept maybe 3 hours. The next morning, I called Dr. Benson's office, our fertility specialist. I told them I needed a copy of my medical file for my records. The nurse sounded confused. Your tests were clear, Mark. Everything looked good. Your sperm count, motility, no issues. Then why did my wife say? She didn't say anything to us. Except she paused. I heard typing, then a quieter voice. She did request a series of pregnancy tests last month. We assumed it was a false alarm. Pregnancy tests. Plural. I thanked her, hung up, and stared at the wall. That's when the second clue hit me. 2 weeks ago, she'd spent a night at her sister's to clear her head. Her sister lives in Vermont, 2 hours away. I remember now. She came back with a tan line. Winter in Vermont doesn't give you that. I wasn't angry. Not yet. Just quiet. Focused. I extended my hotel stay for a week. Told her I needed space. She didn't push. Instead, she texted me. I hope you find what you're looking for. I already had. Her phone backed up automatically to our shared cloud. She forgot that. Or assumed I was too broken to look. The backup revealed 3 months of messages. Most of it was with someone named E. No full name. No photos. Just texts. E. I still think about that weekend. Her. We agreed. No emotions. E. Still. What if it's yours? Her. Then we have a problem. I screenshotted everything. Archived it. Sent a copy to a burner email I'd set up the night before. I didn't ask her about it. Didn't mention the doctor's call. I needed more. So I waited. A week later, I had lunch with Noah, an old college friend, now a private investigator. I showed him the messages. He didn't even blink. You want to know who he is? I want to know everything. Name, job, income, marital status, address. Give me 3 days. He only needed 2. The man's name was Elias Drew. Mid-30s. Divorced. Recently promoted executive at a marketing firm in Midtown. No kids. No criminal record. He and my wife had exchanged over 200 texts in the last 6 months. And he lived in the exact building she claimed her sister had moved into. Vermont? No, 18th and West. The kicker? He'd been married once. Briefly. No kids. Divorce sealed. But guess who handled the paperwork? My wife. Before we even met, she'd interned at the same law firm that processed his divorce. She knew him for years. I wasn't dealing with a sudden affair. This was premeditated. Quiet. Precise. It made sense now. Why she stopped trying so hard to fix things with me. Why she kept insisting we wait before exploring surrogacy. I wasn't a partner anymore. I was a cover. The next week, I called her mother. We'd always been close. She adored me. Said I was the steady hand her daughter needed. I just need to ask, I said, voice steady. Do you know a man named Elias Drew? Silence. Mom? She asked on the other line, clearly sitting next to her. I heard the shuffle of someone taking the phone. Her voice came on, sharper. What are you doing, Mark? Just clarifying something. You're harassing my family now? I haven't said anything to your mother. Not yet. Then don't. This is over. Accept that. I almost laughed. I did. The moment I called Dr. Benson. She hung up. That night, she texted me for the first time in days. Whatever you think you know, you don't. She was wrong. I knew more than she realized. Like how Elias' company had just signed a marketing contract with the boutique PR firm she'd quietly launched 2 months ago. The one she claimed was just a side project. I checked the LLC registration. She used her maiden name. It wasn't a side project. It was an escape plan. I didn't retaliate. Not yet. I gathered emails, contracts, corporate ties, bank records, and something more personal. She'd used our shared funds to secure a short-term lease downtown. Not just her. Elias was on the lease, too. They were nesting. Meanwhile, she still had access to our joint account. But that changed the next day. I visited the bank in person, froze the account, redirected funds to a trust under my name only, legally airtight. That evening, she called. You emptied our account? No. I closed it. You can't do that. I just did. Silence. Then, you're being vindictive. No. I'm being methodical. She hung up again. I didn't hear from her for 5 days. Then a letter arrived. Official. Certified. Request for mediation. She wanted to split assets amicably. That made me laugh. Out loud. Amicably ended the moment she blamed me for infertility, then lied about getting pregnant by someone else. The paperwork stayed on my desk, unopened. I wasn't interested in negotiation. I was interested in truth. And soon, everyone would hear it. Starting with Elias. I showed up at Elias Drew's office on a Thursday. Didn't make a scene. Didn't even ask for him at the front desk. I just waited. Corner cafe across the street, black coffee, no sugar. 43 minutes later, he came out, suit jacket folded over his arm, phone to his ear. I followed him. Not closely. Just enough to know he was heading to lunch. A small bistro 2 blocks down. He sat alone. I waited until his food arrived. Then I stepped in. Mind if I join you? I asked, sliding into the seat across from him. He blinked. Confused. Do I know you? You should, I said. I'm the husband. He went still. I let it sit there. Let the air grow dense around the words. She didn't mention you, he finally said, voice low. Of course not. She's good at that, leaving out the details that ruin the fantasy. He stared at his plate. Look, I didn't know. You didn't ask. I cut him off. You didn't check. You just assumed you were the only one. She told me they were separated. Right? Right around the time she was asking our fertility doctor for pregnancy tests. That got him. His jaw tightened. Eyes darted to the window, then back to me. I placed a flash drive on the table. You'll want to see this. Emails. Contracts. Dates. The whole thing. You've been part of something you didn't understand. He didn't reach for it. I'm not here to make threats, I said. But I'm also not here to protect her. She's not just cheating. She's laundering. His eyes narrowed. What? I smiled, cold and clinical. She funneled money from our joint account into a shell company tied to your firm's marketing budget, which means you, Elias, might be exposed to a fraud investigation. He reached for the flash drive. Keep it, I said. There's a backup. I stood up. You have 48 hours to decide what you want to do. Cooperate, or get named in the filings. He didn't say anything. Didn't need to. That night, I filed the paperwork with my attorney. Fraud. Misappropriation of marital funds. Corporate misconduct. We weren't going to court over a divorce. We were going to war over her second life. The next morning, her lawyer called. This doesn't need to get ugly, Mr. Bennett. It's already ugly, I said. Now it gets documented. We prefer a quiet settlement. You can prefer whatever you want. You'll be getting the subpoenas by Monday. He hung up. Hours later, she texted me again. You're trying to ruin my life. No, I was just uncovering it. I didn't respond. I was already 2 steps ahead. Noah, the PI, found something else. A series of wire transfers from her boutique's account to a private OB/GYN practice. Cash only. 5 visits. All recent. I paid them a visit myself. The doctor wouldn't give me anything at first. Confidentiality laws. Ethics. I didn't push, just handed him a copy of our marriage certificate and told him about the fraud investigation. Told him she listed me on the insurance form. He went quiet. She told us you were separated, he said. Said she didn't want her partner involved in the results. Partner. She never gave a name. But she did request paternity testing. My stomach sank. Was she pregnant? I asked. He hesitated, then nodded. Briefly. She miscarried last week. I left without saying another word. The information didn't change anything, but it confirmed everything. She was lying to everyone, playing both sides, even him. I sent a copy of the clinic's billing to Elias. 10 minutes later, he called. She said it was mine, he said. She said a lot of things. He exhaled hard. What do you want from me? I want a signed affidavit. You confirm the relationship. The timeline. Her request for secrecy. He paused. Will that clear me? If you cooperate, yes. If you don't, you're complicit. He agreed. I sent over the documents. By Monday, her world was unraveling. The boutique closed, pending audit. Our joint assets were frozen, per the court order. Her reputation? Shattered. Turns out, her client list included several high-profile names. When the fraud notice became public, they scattered. By Tuesday, she showed up at my hotel. No warning. Just knocked on the door at 9:46 p.m. She looked smaller somehow. Less polished. Makeup smudged. Eyes tired. I didn't think you'd actually go through with it, she said. Then you never really knew me. She stepped inside, uninvited. Sat down on the edge of the bed. You don't understand. I understand perfectly, I said. You didn't want to be married anymore, but you didn't want to start over broke. So you built an exit plan with someone who thought he was getting a future. She said nothing. You used me. For stability. For status. For access. And when I wasn't enough anymore, you went looking for someone else. But you still wanted the money. Tears formed in her eyes. I didn't mean to hurt you. Yes, you did. You just didn't think I'd fight back. She stood. So that's it. You destroy me and walk away? No. I expose you. And then I walk away. She looked at the floor, then back at me. I loved you. No, I said firm. You loved what I did for you. She didn't respond. Just walked out. Quiet. Defeated. I didn't watch her leave. Instead, I sat at the desk, pulled out my notebook, and crossed off the last item on the list. Truth. Documented, verified, delivered. There was still one thing left. Her parents. They thought we had a medical problem. They deserved to know the truth. I mailed them a letter the next morning. Plain envelope. Clean layout. No drama. Just facts. A copy of the messages. A timeline. And a note at the bottom. I wasn't broken. I was just blindsided. Thought you should know. It wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about clarity. I wasn't infertile. I wasn't the problem. I was just the guy she didn't think would look beneath the surface. But I did. And what I found? Well, that's the part that made her unravel. The media got hold of the audit report 2 weeks later. Local boutique owner implicated in financial misconduct tied to marital fund diversion, the headline read. Subtle, careful, but it lit up her world like a match in a gas leak. The fallout was immediate. Clients pulled out. Her partner in the PR firm, a friend since college, released a statement distancing herself from any activities not in alignment with the firm's core values. The partnership dissolved in less than 72 hours. I didn't celebrate. I didn't even smile. This wasn't about public humiliation. It was about neutralizing a threat, cleanly. Elias did his part. His affidavit landed with my lawyer before the ink was dry on the court summons. He admitted to the affair, to the shared lease, and to conversations where she confessed she was still legally married. His company suspended him pending internal review. He'll recover. People like him always do. But her? Not so much. She tried to fight back, brief statements through her attorney, some of them laughably vague. We regret the misunderstanding, or all actions were made in good faith. But paperwork doesn't lie. Contracts don't forget. Screenshots don't flinch. And then came the deposition. I wasn't required to be there. I went anyway. She walked into the hearing room in a beige suit 2 sizes too big, hair tied back like she was already trying to disappear. No eye contact. No attempt at apology. Just silence. She denied the fraud, briefly, then folded when shown the transactions, her signature, the altered invoices. I didn't know, she said, voice brittle. You created the accounts, her own attorney reminded her. You wired the funds. That was the moment it all caved in. Her posture crumbled. Her voice cracked. She stopped answering. They adjourned early. Outside the room, she looked at me once. Just once. I nodded, not in triumph, but in acknowledgement. She made the choices. I just connected the dots. The divorce finalized shortly after. No contest. She walked away with nothing but personal belongings and the weight of a name that now triggered search results tied to financial misconduct. She asked for nothing else. She knew better. I moved cities 3 months later. Quiet suburb, clean view, no noise. I started consulting part-time for a forensic accounting firm. Ironic, maybe, but fitting. The people there know exactly what I've been through. Hell, some of them have done worse. One night, I got a call. Unknown number. It was her mother. I just want to say I'm sorry, she said. We believed her. We thought you were the one who. I know. She's not doing well. She made her choices, I said. She sighed. She said you were cold. I am. Now. There was a pause. Then, she told us about the pregnancy. The miscarriage. I didn't know until after, I said. She didn't tell me. She told him. Another pause. She said she loved you once. I said nothing. The call ended with a soft goodbye. I never heard from her again. But her shadow shows up in places I don't expect. A restaurant she once loved, now under new management. A dress in a shop window that looks like one she wore to my brother's wedding. Even a laugh. Once, in an airport, that made me turn before I realized it was someone else. The past doesn't haunt me. It educates me. I'm not the man I was. The one who waited in doctors' offices with hopeful hands and tired eyes, believing love could survive deception. Now, I believe in something else. Discipline, documentation, execution. When people ask why I never remarried, I tell them the truth. I'm not bitter. I'm just precise. I don't build lies with people who lie by omission, who run backup plans behind your back while asking you to be patient, who say it's the medical stuff while secretly testing another man's DNA. What I learned is simple. You don't need to chase revenge. Just remove the lies. And what's left is ruin, all by itself. In the end, I didn't burn her world. I just took away the shield she built mine on. And when that shield fell, what was left wasn't love or regret. It was silence. And for me, that silence, it was freedom.